Hello everybody, my name is Sakari Kierstead, and for my internship presentation, I'm going to talk about my experience of being an intern at the Cupcake Girls organization here in Las Vegas. And I'm also going to talk about just some background information and some findings that I found while interning here. So a little background history with the Cupcake Girls. They have been around for about a decade so a few years. And they have two sites. There's one in Las Vegas and there is one in Oregon. I was more focused towards the Las Vegas area, but we have clients all throughout the nation. We have clients from Florida all the way to Cali and Hawaii. And in their mission statement, they state that they provide confidential, non judgmental, strong, and amazing resources and support to clients who are involved within the sex industry and who have experienced domestic violence and sex trafficking experiences, so survivors within those areas. And some of the resources that they provided varied from health insurance to dental insurance and to housing resources, counseling resources, pretty much everything that you can think of, food resources, anything that they would need right then and there for either them or for their family or for their kids. And what I did mainly from my position, I was a direct care intern or an advocate, and I dealt with two different programs. There was the intensive care management program and the referral program. One is just more intense and more consistent with clients than the other. As for the referral program, it was more of a you come to us when you need resources, we give you them, and you go about your day. And what I did mainly was take care of clients within those two programs, but also I did weekly phone calls and daily email communication between the clients and with coworkers within the Cupcake organization as well. I also did daily Podio updates. So Podio was the website that they used to keep track of all the client information, and they tracked all the resources that were given out to the clients. They had information, so you had to track emails and track the phone calls that you had within clients, just so you are aware and that you keep up with the client's information, and just to be aware for the next phone call or for the next encounterment with clients and things like that. And I also had to track my volunteer hours. So there, when you're in volunteer, you have to track your hours every week or every month, depending on how you want to do it. But they track almost everything just to let it be known that there are people out there who love to support these individuals and these clients within this certain industry, and that their partners are aware that they are using the resources that are being given towards the organization. So that was what I did, and that's some background history on the Cupcake Girls. So, some findings that I found while interning here was the fact that having core values is very important to maintain stability. What I mean by that is during the first week of training, we learned that the Cupcake Girls have six core values. The six are: we love without agenda, we act with integrity, we engage in humility, we invite innovation, we pursue holistic balance, and we communicate courageously. And I believe that those six values were very, very helpful within this internship, because those are the main things that you needed to do in order to maintain stability for yourself, but also for the connection between you and your client and you and the organization. And they were really big on pursuing holistic balance, because in order to maintain stability with yourself, you have to be able to maintain a healthy but also a distant relationship with your clients. So I thought that that was a really important finding for me. And some other findings that I found within this organization is that you have to obtain these certain type of skills in order to be a strong advocate for yourself and for your clients. Some of those roles that I have learned was having effective communication skills. So you have to be able to be um, consistent with communications between you and your client and you and your coworkers, because you never know when there could be a gap of miscommunication with clients and with coworkers, and that could cause an issue or an altercation. So having effective communication skills, whether it's emails, phone calls, in person, having that role would be very, very efficient when it comes to talking with your clients. Another one is strong teamwork and technology skills. So everything as of right now was through technology. So being able to have emails, weekly phone calls, Zoom meetings with your coworkers, having to be able to do that and to handle Google Sheets and Podio within the website. So being able to have that technological strength was a big role in this advocacy internship. But also strong teamwork. The organization had weekly meetings with everyone, checking in with one another, making sure that everybody was good and that everybody was on track with everything. So having that strong teamwork ability was able to help me as an advocate help my clients. So that was a really big role. And another one was consistent leadership roles, determination, patience, and mental stability. So with being an advocate, it can take a toll on an individual when hearing the stories and the experiences that these clients go through because they are working within the sex industry. And they also are sometimes domestic violent clients, survivors, and also sex trafficking survivors. So when you're hearing their stories and what they're going through and what they need, it can take a toll on some people because it can be very severe, so to speak. So having those roles can be very helpful for the advocate because patience is also a big thing. Clients, you're on the client's time, so to speak. You can't really rush a client or push them into doing something that they don't want to do, so to speak. So that was a really big role that was needed to be maintained for the advocate role. And another one was the ability to separate personal and professional. So going back to what I said of how you have to have a strong, distant but healthy relationship with your clients and being able to separate your personal life from your professional life because it can be really easy to mix those two when being an advocate for clients because you're wanting to help them so much. You're eager to give them what they need and wanting to be there for them all the time. But you have to remember that you guys are not friends, you guys are a client and an advocate. So that was something that I had to learn a lot because me personally, I am an eager person. I love to help people, but there has to be a distant relationship between that and a personal and professional. Some more findings that I found while interning at the Cupcake Girls is that not every client is going to work with you. Not every client is going to answer your phone calls, schedule appointment to set up with the Cupcake Girls. Some clients aren't gonna reply to you because at the end of the day, they're in their own life, and you can't force them to receive resources. So that was one thing that I learned. I had one client, still to this day, still have not answered any of my phone calls to get her set up with us so she could get resources. And I had to learn that I had to let it be. I can't help everybody, which was understandable. So that was one thing that I learned. Clients may or not cooperate and interact with you, like how I just said. Some clients may not even reply to your emails, even though they want resources, because you never know what they're going through, what phases they're in right now. So you would have to be able to just be patient with that. And to also check in with others. That was one thing that was really emphasized in the organization because it takes a lot to help other people going through this certain type of lifestyle, so to speak. And sometimes some people aren't able to uphold the advocacy and the direct care intern position because it is a year-long position. So they really suggest that you disconnect from work, disconnect from the internship during the weekend preferably, and to just maintain your self-care routines, whether that's listening to music, going on walks, working out, things like that, to keep yourself stable in order to go through another week of helping other clients get what they need. Another finding that I found was maintaining organization. So when you have about 7 to 8 clients, it can become very hectic to schedule everybody accordingly throughout the week. And sometimes you can forget that you have a client call at this time and you have to send emails right after this and meetings and so on and so forth. So it's really important to stay organized and have your schedule planned out every week so you know who you have phone calls with and who you have to have email communication with and who you have meetings with, so on and so forth. It is also important to keep a professional relationship with the client. I emphasize this so much because um, sometimes when having a relationship with a client, it can become personal unintentionally. But there's just a distance and a relationship that needs to be maintained, and that has to be professional in order for them to get what they need and for you to stay stable the way you are and protected in that manner. I believe that this type of career was very interesting and was very eye opening to me. But I believe that with this type of individuals, I may not want to pursue for my future personally. But as for the advocate role and for the intern role, that is very similar to the career that I want to pursue in my future, which is becoming a child's life specialist. It's more of a child's therapist, similar to an advocate who would check in on individuals weekly, daily, to see if they need anything, any resources, non judgmental support. That's the thing that I want to do, but mainly focus towards children and the youth within hospitals and who have mental challenges or disorders or abnormalities. So let's say children with depression, anxiety, ADHD, children who are sick within hospitals, patients, so to speak. That type of career is what I want to fall into. So the advocate role within the Cupcake Girls is very similar to the children's role. They just have small differences between one another. And some requirements that would be needed for the child life specialist would be more training within the medical field when it comes to the disorders and caring for them medically while they're in hospitals, so to speak, and being able to handle them and their parents as well. Because within the Cupcake Girls, you are handling more adults than children mainly. So being able to handle families, parental guardians, and things like that who are involved with the child would be a skill that I would need to adapt more to and learn more. Another thing would be able to handle hands on and multitasking situations because I am wanting to work within hospitals. So that would include handling multiple tasks at once involving children and their families as well. So those are some of the differences that are involved between an advocate within the Cupcake Girls within the sex industry and an advocate and a child's life therapist within hospitals. But overall, the purpose of my career is very similar, is to be an advocate, a therapist for children in particular. Overall, this internship was amazing for me. I can't explain how big of a difference it has helped me within my college career, but also personally. I've learned so many things about how to be an advocate, how to better myself, how to create a professional yet efficient relationship with clients and with patients, how to handle very serious situations, how to give out resources efficiently, and how to make an impact really on people's lives by also keeping that professional distance between one another. I will be continuing this internship since it is year round. I will be continuing for the rest of the year. I feel as if it can teach me a lot more for my specific work of interest. And I believe that it can teach me a lot more about myself and about others within this wonderful industry. There's a lot of women within this industry who feel as if they are alone and that they're not supported. So being able to make that difference, being able to have an impact on people's lives and help them when they need it is something I love doing and I don't mind continuing. But overall, this internship has really taught me a lot about how to support people, how to give non-judgmental and open-minded support and resources and things like that. And I'm very thankful for this class as well, but also for the internship.